Hello and welcome, my name is Yves Sanford, and today I wanted to quickly cover the comdivision education program for service providers. We identified that most service providers we have to deal with primarily different types of personas who have different requirements from an education or training perspective. So one of these persons is what we call the architect. So this is the person who is going to design, architect, and basically take certain decisions around the infrastructure. There is something which is more on the consultant operations implementation. I'm calling it implementation / consulting level at a service provider. And then last but not least, there is a third person at most service providers, more from an operational perspective. I'm not actually covering the business development piece here, but we do that as a baseline from that perspective as well. So when it comes to these three different personas have different requirements from a training perspective. So on one hand, there is the need for product updates. So around the VMware ecosystem, we do product update sessions. Not only what we do as in our podcast, but there is a webinar for our customers, which is going to run on a quarterly basis. And that is basically available for all our customers in the service provider space. So this is actually for architects as well as implementation and consulting people. It's not so much for the operations people, but really from that perspective. Something new which we start as of this year is what we call the architecture think tanks. These are in-person events which are going to include some of the, I would say, brightest minds in the industry. So we get together in dedicated locations with good food and drinks and stuff like that as well, and actually spend 2 days together in a whiteboarding session and discussions and stuff like that to actually discuss the newest things around how to design for specific problems, challenges, etc. in the VMware ecosystem. This could be how to upgrade for VCF, complex routing scenarios and stuff like that. That event is actually going to be included for our white label Service Pack 2 customers. So they actually have this one included as part of their base package. But if you are a service provider who does not run white label with us, you can always come and talk to us, and we can actually get you a seat in that event as well. The other scenario is what we are going to run is what we call the challenge days. The challenge days, with some interruptions during the pandemic, have been running for now, I think, 3 or 4 years. It's also in-person events. We run them in the different geos and typically on a quarterly basis. So every quarter we run this at a different location. Usually this was done by the aggregators. We are going to run this in the future by ourselves. This is going to be included for white label, which have Service Pack 1 or Service Pack 2. Will get a seat per year included in for their challenge days, but there you could also buy additional seats from that perspective as well. Besides all of that, especially for the operations team, we have also what we call the on-demand training platform. The on-demand training platform is a dedicated training platform which we provide for service providers, and that basically is 5 to 10 minute videos which actually explain specific features and are not necessarily only for service providers to build up continuous knowledge, but also to constantly utilize these knowledges during day-to-day operations. So the videos are short enough so that you can quickly jump in there and jump out. Besides all of that, what we also do is standard in-person workshops or what is called instructor-led training, so ILTs with the comdivision VCIs. So those are VMware certified instructors, and that can basically be applied to each one of these different scenarios. So as you can see within comdivision over the last couple of years, we have developed our own kind of education ecosystem specifically for service providers. Starting this year, you will also be able to proudly present your attendance to the events, achievements, and everything else, because we are going to partner up with Pearson VUE and Cradley, so that whenever you attend any of these events or you pass an exam or a test with us, you can actually later on get an accreditation which you can show off on your LinkedIn page and everything else. I hope this gives you a bit of an idea on what's going to happen in the comdivision education system for service providers. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a quick note and I'm happy to answer them.